Check. Like right now, turn the monitors on. Make sure the car's locked. Like if Steven was here, I probably would have to be computer guy. Sit over there. Even this is my first 3. I did with Wes. I've done one with Steven. But it's not posted yet. But we had a good time this last week, and that's kind of when he gave me the rundown of all the shit that he's been dealing with.
So you haven't even seen him for a while?
Yeah, I release like one video a week, but it's all done in one day. We video them all in one day, and then yeah. Well, let's get into it, dude. You all ready?
Yep.
I put an 808 before the intro. Boom.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Vaughn and Matt of Bad Hunting. We all in frame? Good? Yep, good. Tight. So first things first, you guys have Wes, and then who else are we missing?
Jojo.
Our bass player, yeah.
Right on. So for those that you don't know, we've done a podcast before, As Bad with Birds, and now no more birds, more honey.
Birds flew the coop.
So I heard a little bit from Wes, and it sounded like just creative differences. Is there anything you want to touch on that while I fix my microphone real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the party line. I think everyone just kind of was moving into a different direction, both in their lives and creatively. The bass player of that band, Matt, he got married, bought a home.
The guy that got stabbed at the gig?
That was Pat.
But they're twins, and their names rhyme.
Gig.
Damn it, I remember this now. I remember this. It's all coming back to me.
And then, so I just think it ran its course.
Yeah,
you know,
it does. But you guys' songs were so good that I'm not worried that, you know, whatever comes next between all you guys is going to be dope. So
it's never going to come back.
No. I mean, whatever. Whatever projects. You guys are all super talented people.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, we'll see. Yeah, but we'll see what they do. And I got to see Matt's wife yesterday. She came and got his recording gear that he'd had at my house since who knows when. But
oh shit, that's like breakup.
Yeah.
It feel a little like.
Not really.
Okay, good.
It's good to see her. Kind of like, you know, saw someone you hadn't seen for a while. But that's kind of was it. And that just, you know, everyone was done.
Good. That's good. No bad blood. No bad bird blood. As I coined that term last week.
No bad bird blood.
No bad bird blood. So I asked you guys about albums because I want to gear like each episode towards like people's favorite albums, just to kind of, honestly, to give me a thumbnail that people will click on. I'm like, let's try like talking about our favorite artists, and me and Steven went ham last week. So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts, and I listened to all the albums. I know like all those songs, but I'd never sat down and listened to either of them. For those who don't know, you picked Continuum by John Mayer and you picked El Camino by the Black Keys.
Yeah. 2
like seriously iconic guitar, like different spectrums of guitar, but like guitar music.
Yeah.
I was enjoying my morning. But you tell me why you picked that one. Start with John Mayer.
Continuum, because John Mayer is how, that's how I would want to play guitar.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the guy that I personally think, and I'm, you know, take things like Daughters and Bigger Than My Body, like the, you know, early 2000 pop hits, but like Continuum to me was an album where he really showed what the fuck he can do. And it's so tasteful and so melodic and so pretty and so subtle that to me that's kind of like the pinnacle of tasty playing.
For sure. Yeah.
And you know, and then 2, there's a sentimental aspect for me for that album. It was released at a time in high school when I was, I guess, going through a lot of the things he was singing about.
Right.
So
what album was that of his?
Continuum? It was like his 3rd or 4th.
Damn,
and that's one
dope.
with Slow Dancing in a Burning Room on it.
Yep.
And I remember very vividly, I was at a concert. I was at a music festival in Denver.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Billings, so the closest thing, in Billings, Montana, so the closest place we could go to was Denver for shit.
Yeah.
Or Seattle or Minneapolis. But music festival in Denver. First year they did it. The headliners were Dave Matthews, Tom Petty, OAR, and John Mayer. And so
OAR?
OAR, yeah.
Who's OAR?
Crazy Game of Poker.
I don't know.
It was a crazy. You don't know it?
No.
That was one of those moments where I was like, do I pretend to know to be cool or just ask?
Well, do you remember like
I don't know
how old are you?
I am 34.
Okay, perfect. I'm 32.
Great.
Do you remember in like 2008 when everyone was really into jam bands?
Yeah.
And like going through like the big hemp.
You hang out with jam band?
Oh yeah, I had a hemp thing in that year.
Necklace. Yeah, the hemp
or
necklace.
2009, I had a hemp necklace.
Did they have that in Connecticut in 2009?
Hemp necklaces?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had those.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that was you're all older than me.
I made my own hemp necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were one of those
I'm
guys.
31, so I didn't quite get to the hemp necklace.
That's the cutoff.
Yeah, that was. We realized that we were like, this isn't gonna last.
My ID is still from 2008. which is crazy. I even have long hair. It's not even like
And
I
they
look
don't
the
question
same.
it?
Nobody questions it. I get like one of every 100 people go to haircut, huh? I'm like, yeah, like 14 years
It's
ago.
not expired?
No, they keep saying the picture's fine.
Oh, they use the
last
picture
time,
again. I see. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's like-
Yeah, nobody's ever questioned it. It's like hole punched and shit. No,
Yeah,
no, it's a totally valid ID. But
Okay.
my picture is me of 18, hemp necklace.
I'm sure, and a giant glass bead.
No beads.
No beads?
No, I never made
Oh.
it to beads. I have
But-
respect for myself. No, I'm
like
just kidding.
Fish. I know Fish as a jam band.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
Fish?
yeah.
Or Murphy's McGee or String Cheese Incident. Are
Yeah.
any of those ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Pepper.
Oh, string cheese for sure.
Pepper, you know.
2011, I had a buddy who lived on my couch, and he was all about string cheese incident. And so
Makes
I heard,
sense he
I
was
heard
on
a
your
lot
couch.
of them. Yeah. He loved the Grateful Dead, and
Yeah.
he loved to sit around.
Sure.
No,
You know.
Are you a Deadhead too?
No.
no,
Oh,
Not
interesting.
at all.
no jam.
Actually, I honestly despise jam bands.
That's what. Oh yeah,
Well,
what were
you
you gonna say
okay,
about it? You were
anyway,
gonna
I gotta-
say.
Oh, well,
Something
anyways.
about jam bands, yeah.
So, but they were just the headliners of the show, and John Mayer was one of the headliners. And I had this girlfriend at the time, and I had dumped her over a text message
Classic.
because she was, I don't know if this is going, because she wouldn't give me a hand job.
That's why you dumped her?
Yeah, I was 16 and dumb.
Brutal.
And and John Mayer was singing. I know. And John Mayer was playing "Slow Dancing in a Burning Room," and I was like, "Oh my God, this is what I'm going through right now."
Yeah.
Our relationship is
Same.
ending.
That's what happened to him.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's what that song's about.
Yeah, well, because
John Mayer didn't
Jennifer
get a hand-
Aniston wouldn't
yeah.
give him a hand
yeah,
job.
yeah.
Oh my God.
But
That's
I always felt really bad about that specific juncture, and doing
Yeah.
that, and for the reasons. But that album
Yeah.
just so it had a sentimentality, and then when I started playing guitar, it was like, okay, this is very tasteful, very melodic, very just every. I think it's just beautiful guitar music.
It is. It's so BB King.
Yeah.
Holy. And there's one song like at the end. I forget if it's second to last track or maybe the last track. I knew I was gonna. I was like, remember the names, but I can't because that's who I am. But
I know which one you're
it
talking
is.
about, though.
It's the 8-bar, 12-bar
Yeah, it's
blues, but not the cliche one. It's the one that BB King does.
it has changes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
the
it's
one-
like it's a ballad.
Yeah,
It's
the
a blues
ballad.
Yeah.
Oh, blues ballad. That's totally what it's called.
Yep,
And
I
I
know what you-
love those. And he plays out of tune, not out of tune, but like it's like a pop album. I mean, it's not. It's a rock blues album.
Yeah.
But he was kind of a poppy guy, and his voice is very like pop
Beautiful. Yeah.
styles. But he played in between notes and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, microtone.
He does them. He does the in between notes. He does the BB King shit.
He
and-
sounds a lot like BB King in that album,
Yep.
and I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal guitar player. I've seen him live a couple times, and every time I'm blown away.
And to be fair, just to bring it back, I've one time broke up with a girl moments before my opportunity to sleep with another girl, and when I went to do it over the phone, she didn't answer, so I left it on a message. So just to make even playing fields. And Matt, you can share yours later or choose not to. It's probably best.
The
it's
worst
probably best that you
breakup?
choose not to.
I mean, those are pretty bad.
You got some bad ones lined up.
I don't.
Oh no, ours, yeah. That's probably my
No,
worst
I don't
one.
think I have like
think.
a bad one. I was a late bloomer, so I didn't have like a girlfriend or anything in high school. So
Really?
in college, I guess.
When did you start playing music?
I first started playing music when I started playing trumpet in middle school.
Right on.
And that was my first instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to play guitar so bad.
Yeah.
And my neighbor had one, and I wanted to play. And my dad bought me a guitar, and that was like probably when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And played "Smoke on the Water" all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yes, it was my birthday, and I remember just playing over and over again. And I had friends over, and
Yeah.
they were annoyed.
One
We were
riff.
just playing the same riff over. and
What makes that come about? Because did you do that same
on the
thing?
Water?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
I
just-
did it too. It's almost like you
it's an
have to,
easy
and I remember
riff.
not wanting to. Like, oh, this is cliche. Everybody else does it. I'll learn a Red Hot Chili Pepper song.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Well, it's easy. It's an easy song to play. It's an
And
easy riff to play.
It's not like I knew of Deep Purple
No, I
before I
know,
started playing
yeah.
guitar.
Well, I kind of knew Deep Purple.
did
a
you?
little bit.
I totally
Wow, this
probably
is-
didn't.
Oh, I used to listen to a lot of
deep.
classic rock, and
Yeah.
that was like my growing. I used to burn CDs of like to be exactly like the Led Zeppelin 4 or
Tight.
like
Oh,
Led
yeah,
Zeppelin
yeah,
3.
you'd make
like,
your own
but they,
albums,
Just
yeah.
I basically just steal the music.
Yeah.
But
In
but I would do it
perfectionist
very
form, yeah.
very respectfully in the order
that was
they
always
wanted.
my argument to Napster and Metallica. I'm like, hey, I'm not
Yeah.
going to listen to it, or I'm going to get it for free. Which one do you want? It's like,
But I was also, I mean, I was like 10, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I was like on LimeWire getting viruses. But,
Yep.
you know, like, so I downloaded, and I was my first concert was Aerosmith. That was my first show.
tight.
But yeah, I started playing guitar, and then I stopped. in going to high school, and that was something I always regretted.
Yeah.
And I picked it back up because of an ex-girlfriend.
Like, I got feelings
Yeah.
and I need to say something.
Well, it was fun. Long story short, she basically was like, she was into this other guy. We're like going through a hard time, whatever. And I remember her saying, "He's like, well, he plays an instrument, like he was like a drummer or something."
Scarred
And I was
for
like-
life.
I was like, I could play a fucking
Yeah.
instrument. And he wasn't. It's like, he wasn't that good.
Yeah,
But it was
yeah.
like, I'm like, I could play. I can play the guitar because I like knew I used to play. So I bought like an acoustic guitar the other day, or not the next day.
Right.
And then I started playing. And then I like just really liked it.
Was this out of high school?
No, this was in college.
In
Yeah,
college,
so I
yeah.
was probably like,
Okay.
like 21 when I
Okay,
picked
right
it back
on.
up. So
Oh wait. So some girl used that as
What?
the reason when you were 21 years old. He plays
What?
an instrument. That
That's-
came out.
I
That
mean,
came out
there
of a
was other
21.
things
That
going
came out of
on.
a 21-year-old's mouth. I'm dumping you because he plays an instrument.
That's tough, dude.
that wasn't why she was dumping me,
That's
but it was
brutal.
like, long story short, she was like into this other guy, and she was like, I'm gonna explore what this is, and it was like
Yeah,
her fucking
yeah.
lab partner, and that was just like some reason. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I just remember that being said.
At least she said it to you like a
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
fucking left a voicemail.
Yeah, she did say it to my face. Yeah,
I
she
put it
didn't
in
break
a-
up with me into my face.
I put it in a text message when I was
That's probably
drunk and high on the roof of an Embassy Suites. So
That's probably the most baller thing you can do, male or female or whatever. It is be honest and break up with
Sure,
someone and be like,
sure.
hey, I
Well,
don't
she wasn't.
feel
I mean,
this.
this took years. It was not. I wouldn't say honesty was.
It wasn't a solid breakup,
No,
though.
no, it was
Okay.
not. I mean, this is.
I'm
this
done
is-
giving her
yeah,
credit.
Yeah, no, don't give her credit.
She-
I mean, you can give her, I guess, credit for being shitty and making me pick up the guitar.
I was
again.
just gonna go there. I was like,
but yeah,
if
and then
not
I
for that.
But something that was different at that point is I started like trying to sing.
Yeah.
and that was when I like playing and singing. I never really sang growing up, and
Right.
and then I really started learning how to sing, and that was kind of that's when I really think like, okay, cool, like I'm really trying to
And
be
who
better.
who got you into singing? Like what artists,
Oof.
or if there was a moment like me?
You know what artist that got me into
Me was
singing?
probably BB King. As soon as I heard BB King, I was like, oh, I should try my best.
Yeah.
BB King got you into singing?
Yeah, I think so.
That's wild.
Because I was already a guitar player, and then I got into him from guitar, and I'm like, I like how the way it's almost like it's not Lucille and BB King, it's just BB King. Like it's like one voice, but he never talks over himself. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah,
never
right, 'cause
plays
it's
chords.
not- yeah,
He always
right.
like I don't know, something about that was like, oh, he's a
Yeah.
baller. And then I would do the thing where I'd grab the guitar and I'd to the
Yeah.
crowd, and then it would feel really like lead guy. Like I don't even need to play. I'll just sing. So yeah. Anyway, that's so like I think of him when I think of like who got me to sit like really stage
Yeah.
presence, but
Yeah, I guess I've never thought about like who got me into singing. I've always
or what.
wanted to. I always liked trying to sing, but I
Yeah.
never was good at it.
Yeah.
I would say like I'm inspirationally like Kurt Cobain is a big inspiration,
Tight.
just because I think
Absolutely.
not that I like try to be like him or anything, but I think he's just a great example of like, hey, you don't have to be like a perfect or what you think of like because when you're trying to learn how to sing, you think like, oh, I have to have like perfection
Right,
in
right,
singing, and it's like really vulnerable. Because
Yeah.
it's like you're just like, hey, I can't go buy a better instrument or like get better stuff. Like you are just who you are.
Yeah.
So you are the instrument. So it's really vulnerable, and I think
Yeah.
like he obviously just leaned into just the feeling and being himself
Right.
of like trying to express the song or whatever it is and he was not perfect in terms of pitch or
Yeah.
like how he sang, but like so iconic.
He
at
got
the
the message.
same
He got the
time.
message across.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so I mean, definitely think of that for like singing, and I'm drawing a blank on somebody else that I.
No worries.
guess
We can
it's
go straight to the Black Keys. Segue.
We can talk about Black Keys. Chris Cornell is another.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Inspiration, and which he's the more like, just perfect singer.
Yeah.
You know, that you're like.
He's got all
yeah.
his
Yeah,
like him and Lane Staley actually probably are the real people that got me into singing.
Yeah.
But BB King was like got me on stage doing it.
Yeah, sure,
So that's
sure.
but like when I was like 14, I would try to
Yeah, so
try to
good.
sing Man in the Box, and me and my friends
Yeah.
would be like, let's try it. And it was so fun, and I think of that all the time when I'm
Yeah.
singing good. I'm like, oh, what
Yeah.
the fuck, dude? What a journey.
Yeah.
What a journey it's been.
Trying to sing like Chris Cornell is my main goal.
That's so tough.
Trying to be good. Yeah.
He does magic up there, dude. I don't know what he's doing.
He's so I took some singing lessons from someone in town in Seattle, And I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like she also gave Chris Cornell singing lessons.
I know that it was a she, so we're on the right track.
Oh, you do?
I don't know who the name. I know that like there's a lady that taught all those guys.
Yeah, her name's
least-
Sue Wolf, at least the
Okay.
person that I've worked
Yeah,
with.
yeah, that
and she
sounds
was
right.
really good because she does a thing called the art of screaming.
Okay.
And that's her
Sounds
her
sick.
technique, which fits, right? And she's very much, and I wish I took more lessons, but it was like $100 a lesson. It was crazy.
Of course, yeah.
But it was totally worth it. But she talks about like engaging your body so much more. And so like something I just remember her saying was like, and she would say, Chris Cornell specifically, it's like, have you ever noticed like he puts up his legs on, like he would put up legs on like the monitor or something, but like, and he would go into like,
Power
go
mode.
into it, but that was actually to engage.
Yeah,
and,
he's
like,
using
sing,
every muscle
and using
specifically,
every muscle,
yeah.
like especially in your lower body.
That's tough to do,
like
yeah.
and get that power and that support.
It's tough to do, and then you're thinking about the person in the front row that's like looking at you weird,
Yeah.
or whatever else that could possibly distract you from, or like you don't want to like I am always thinking about the pitch.
Right.
I'm like, okay, good, I did good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't ever translate. The only thing that translates is if I'm feeling the song.
Yeah,
and
you gotta
everybody
feel it.
knows
Yeah,
it.
totally.
I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, like Kurt Cobain. He's not gonna hit all his notes with,
No.
but he surprisingly hit his notes. But
Yeah.
that being said, he's not Celine Dion hitting
Right.
his
It's
notes.
just a difference. I mean, the music that we play. I mean, that's what it's about.
That's
you
like
know?
the thing is like
Yeah.
I always figure like if you're a good singer, and this is just totally a conjecture, or this is me just being me, this is totally me being me. If you're this as a singer, like singing pop music, like this talented, and you're equally talented as a rock singer, you're more talented because rock is harder.
Yeah.
Rock is fucking, you sweat, you're scream. It's probably more up tempo more of the time. It's I don't know, it's better, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think so.
Yeah, that's my argument. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a little insight of my singing thought process. But so if you want to talk about Black Keys, so yeah, I chose El Camino.
What year did that come out? I didn't.
I think it was
2011,
2012 maybe.
somewhere in there.
And the
something
John
like
Mayer
that.
album
Gotta look it
was
up.
more like
07, 08, 09,
oh
somewhere
yeah,
in there.
the
I think
Yeah.
it was
the hemp era.
the hemp era.
Hemp
Like
necklace era.
we'll call it an even 07
Cool.
or an
Yeah.
odd 07.
That sounds right. So this came out a few years. I remember Gold on the Ceiling. I played that in
Yeah.
the band for when I first heard that song.
Such a cool song.
And I was playing bass, and it's rips on the bass.
It's
a sick
it's a
bass line.
that's a fun song. When I was in a cover band in Connecticut, we used to play that song.
It hits,
I'm in a
too.
cover band now, and we still play that song.
Do you play that song?
Fat Saturn
Oh, I
plays
didn't know
song.
that.
Nice.
It's a great song.
It hits, dude. People like it.
Yeah, they love.
It's got a
one
good
of-
feel.
It's one of those songs that like people don't think about, I think, but when it comes on, they're like, oh yeah, like, and they get into it.
Those are the best songs.
Those
if
are
I
the
could make
best
a
cover
full
songs,
playlist of that, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, in Connecticut with our cover band, we tried to pick like those songs that were not like I don't know, the ones that everybody plays,
Like famous bands, but deeper.
Yeah,
cuts
that
or
you like
something.
hear that are popular, obviously, because you don't want to play unpopular cover songs.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But like ones that you're like, oh yeah, or like I've heard that one before.
Unless you're gonna say you wrote them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Well, that one, yeah, of course.
Do the ones that people probably have heard. Like a lot on Continuum, I remember, and even on El Camino, there was a lot. I was like, oh yeah, I've definitely heard this wherever.
Totally.
You know, and the John Mayer one surprised me how many I knew on there. I was
Yeah.
like, I thought I didn't know Continuum, but why? Anytime there's an iconic album, I should know that I already know it.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I can't think of it. What is the main songs on Continuum?
Slow dancing.
Slow dancing, Waiting for the World to Change.
Oh.
Slow
Gravity.
Dancing in a Burning.
Oh, Gravity's on.
Gravity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that track one?
Gravity's in
I don't
the
know.
middle,
Oh, it's in
and
the
then
middle,
what's the Belief? That's the one that's got a
forget that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then,
definitely knew that one.
My favorite tune on that album is actually the one where he starts with the Ottawa melody line on that envelope filter. Don't trust myself with loving you.
Yes.
That's a hell of a groove.
Yes.
That's a hell of a groove.
Yep. I remember reading the title, being like, "Remember that one?" I didn't, but it came to mind when you said it.
Little Ottawa line is, I don't know. I love it.
Yeah. All his tones on there, like he's got like that. I don't know. I don't think this is the Ottawa one, but there's like it's a real fuzz. He's playing BB King licks, but it's got Jimi Hendrix tone, is how I heard it. A lot of fuzz, rolled off though, like BB King, and fuzzy and dirty, and I forget. It was like
Was it
specifically on one
Axis?
song. It was probably
Because he
probably
covered Axis
yeah,
on
probably
it.
the Jimi Hendrix song. Yeah.
It was actually just a Jimi Hendrix.
That
It was
checks
Axis
out.
pulled
He's
his love,
playing
yeah.
Jimi Hendrix riff.
It really
I
sounded
don't
like
know
Jimi.
if it was that, but let's go with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah.
bet.
So he's got hits on that album
Yeah.
for days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the El Camino is it's a great album. I think I picked that one because I do like their older albums
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like Rubber Factory. I was thinking about that one, but I think I think El Camino is a great example of the type of music I like because it's blues, of course, rock and like garage rocky, but also poppy.
Good songwriting.
Yeah,
the songs
it's good song. And I'm a sucker for hooks. And
they do octave singing, huh? That's like his thing. Like there's two guys singing and they're just doing sloppy octaves, nothing crazy. That's like the sound. I feel like every time I hear their sound.
Well, that's when they like filled out their sound.
Yeah,
in that album.
That's a cool sound. Anytime I always think Eminem does that when he sings. It's always in octaves. There's tons of people that do it. Those are my examples I can think of right now. But love that. It's so simple. I always overlook it when writing my own songs. I'm like, I could just do an octave.
Small segue.
Yeah.
When you asked what the album we had to choose from was,
it
was either between Continuum or the Eminem Show.
Oh yeah,
really?
right.
Oh my God, I might.
Because I could talk about the Eminem Show.
2003. His third
2003.
album.
That's so funny.
I don't know much about hip hop. I'm getting into Wu-Tang, but I know Eminem, dude. That shit was everywhere.
Who doesn't?
But yeah, so I love a good hip hop album. That might be a great choice. I think mine would be like Master Puppets or something. If we're picking along the lines of who I am as a person and the shit that I really love to my core, fast guitars, thrash metal. But I love all the other stuff too. But yeah, oh my God, yeah. I think it's 51%, or not so bad a way to look at it, but I think if I love all music the same except for like Metallica and like that kind of thrash metal, or let's just say metal.
So
all metal I love.
Why do people shit on Metallica?
They're so popular.
I don't really understand. I've never really understood why people hate on Metallica so much, especially Kirk Hammett.
Oh, I know. Well,
is he the guy from the other?
He's Metallica.
He's
He's the lead guy, and
okay.
he's wasn't my number one influence for like 2 straight years. All I learned was Kirk Hammett licks, and so I thought he was a god. And then as my ear grew, and then 20 years later, I hear him. I'm like, okay, he's a little sloppy, but his riffs, I know all his solos. I could sing them to you. You know what I mean? Like he is good. Same with Steven, guy host on the show. He argues Joe Satriani over Steve Vai, and I go, why? He's like, melody. I'm like, I see it immediately. Yeah. This Vai is doing woo, woo, and Satriani shreds and everything, but he has
there's a swing to it. There's a groove to it.
Yeah, there's groove.
Whereas like Steve. Yeah.
And again, it's
talking shit about Steve Vai.
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, especially because he's like still very relevant. He's way more relevant than Joe.
He's going to hear this too.
Yeah, he's definitely watching this podcast.
He's watching this podcast.
Yeah,
could be.
He had that dragon guitar that came out. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, the heart
song.
one. And there's the heart one with like all the different
crazy.
necks.
No, so I think, and again, I'll preface this with that was Steven's opinion. Sure. He's like, I don't like Steve Vai. He doesn't like Yngwie Malmsteen. He doesn't like anybody. The dude is a curmudgeon. Doesn't like Wu-Tang. Doesn't matter what he likes.
Doesn't he like Stevie Ray?
What he likes, yeah. So he'll like,
sure.
But even like in other genres, he won't pick the top stuff. He's like, they hate it, which is kind of makes me and him bounce pretty good together. So what the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, it's good shit. And he's like, I just like a good hook. Well, like, okay. Let's put Katy Perry on. What do you want from me? I don't know. She's got a big hook.
She does. She knows how to write a hooky song.
Yeah.
Or
whoever. Or Taylor Swift. She's more relevant.
Yeah,
sure.
Anyway, what were we talking about before I talked about Joe Satriani and songwriting and melody and Metallica. Why do people hate Metallica? Kirk Hammett, sloppy, all that stuff. I love Kirk Hammett. So
I've just never really understood why people hate them. Like, it seems like musicians will talk so much shit about them.
And this isn't a popular thing to hate on someone for nowadays, but he's femme. He's kind of femme.
Kirk Hammett?
Yeah. And like, I know in metal world, you can get, I don't know if that's anything. I remember him talking with a lisp and someone making fun of him in a clip, and I'm like, maybe that's why? Because his playing is so dope. I don't know why.
I think it's people just like when you're at the top, they want to hate it.
It's the crab mentality,
just, you know, because they clearly have a lot of people that love them.
More people
but I don't know,
love
musicians
them
are like,
right.
dude, they just want to, I don't know, they want to like the alternative stuff.
I'm not a super dope, like I'm not a fan of when people just jump onto the thing. Like Nickelback and Creed and all that. It's like, those are good bands. Yeah. I love Creed. I don't care for Nickelback, but they're not bad in any.
Do you detect an undercurrent of Creed revival happening in society right now?
Only because I talk about it on this podcast every week. Only because in my world there is one.
Do you know what I listened to on the way here?
Oh, God.
With Arms Wide Open and Higher.
The two bigs.
Right on the
you know which one I do? You know which one I go to?
What? 6 feet.
My own prison. Oh,
yeah, that was on the
I go straight to My Own Prison every time. Quarters in session. The verdict is in. He really.
There's a slight Creed revival going on.
Yeah. Dude, I saw that they're doing I got to set this up right. This is real. They're doing a revival concert, but it's not a new album. It's not a tour. It's a cruise.
Like a Kiss cruise?
Like a Creed cruise, baby.
A Creed cruise.
Which, like, if anyone should go on a cruise cruise, it's me, although I would never. And I don't like cruises, to be honest, but I love Creed so much.
That would be interesting.
Where's it taking out of?
I didn't really look much into it because I was like, this is
Florida.
This is preposterous. Yeah, we'll go with Florida.
Daytona Beach.
Like, what is a Creed? Here's another thing is
Birmingham.
Are people who admit that they like Creed getting all together in one place a good
absolutely.
thing? Is that you think
is that is it a good thing?
Do you think it's fine? It's like a safe space they can admit that they like Creed with a bunch of other people.
Because I don't.
Plenty of people that are fine to admit.
I'll admit it and I'll propose it in my own safe space here, but like in public, I'm not like, you know, can you take, you know, I just pretend that, you know, whatever's whatever. And if someone talks shit about Creed, I'll be like, actually, maybe I have some good songs. There's some deep tracks you might be interested in.
But you still, though, if you're bopping it at a light and you've come to a full stop,
I turn it down.
You're going to turn it down.
Yeah.
You're going to turn it down.
There is some stuff I turn down, even like on the corner.
What is it that people, I mean, that they did.
My thing was it was a Christian band or whatever.
Are they official? Like, is that true?
No.
Or officially not a Christian band, according to Scott Stapp on Theo Von's This Past Weekend podcast. I recommend checking it out. Yeah. He answers all your Creed questions because it was like last year. It was very recent.
It seems like it would be a Christian band. I mean, it's very odd.
He was. I always talk crazy, but this is a real conversation.
Did the Christians embrace Creed?
Is there a way to hold this?
Okay, because maybe that's what happened.
There was. It was. He was a Christian boy. His parents were Christians, but they were abusive. So what I always say is he was beaten with the Bible, and I'm not sure if I made that up anymore. If that's like literally, he was like no. Here's the real part. He was beaten with a belt, and then had to write not Psalms. What is it?
Psalms.
No, I know what you're talking.
Verses.
Oh, passages.
Same as
John
music.
3, like John 3:16.
Yeah, so he had to. So it was like beaten into him, right, to write Christian music, literally.
Oh, yeah. So like he couldn't help it.
And the way he tells it is very honest and very real, and he's like, the rest of the guys kind of were like, "What the fuck are you writing?" And he's like, "I don't know. Yeah. This is just this is how I write."
Interesting.
And you know, so I think between that, like them not knowing where they stand. Like the rest of the guys didn't want to be Christian. They wanted to drink and screw hookers probably. Sure. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Mark Tremonti, you nasty boy out there.
Because they definitely have like Nickelback vibes, but the content is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what they're writing about.
Yeah, Nickelback. Why did that one?
Because that guy,
why they're popular, why people don't like him.
He's kind of his personality's kind of douchey. Yeah.
And they like lean into like
that's Creed too. Because back in the day he had that literal God complex. But he probably thought.
Do you think they just kind of were at the bad timing, like the tail end of like that grunge '90s?
Yeah. Bad timing or good timing, you know?
Or good timing. That people were just like, we're moving on, and they were just kind of last.
Do Creed revival, and it starts here on BandHouse podcast.
That's just a very specific type of rock music.
Yeah,
like you could name
post grunge.
Post grunge is like very specific from like, I don't know what, 96 to.
Is that where they're starting it?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that seems right.
I thought it was later than that.
98. Well, Human Clay came out in 98.
That's Creed.
Yeah. That's the one where the guy's on the cover and he's like falling, and it's
that's
like really
their second
terrible
album.
computer, 90s
Yeah,
computer graphics.
That's when grunge was probably starting to wind down.
Ended in with like 05 or 06 with Fall Out Boy.
But
what about him?
Like that's when post grunge ended.
The actual killer.
To me,
the nail
like,
in the coffin.
that's when the emo thing started.
Sure.
05, 06.
A band that gaps those, Stained.
I like
Stained. You can slap right in the middle of
Stained,
Fall Out Boy and whatever.
But now that guy's country. Aaron, he's
like, country and vocally country. He's like Republican-y country too. Which I guess if you're gonna go all the way.
Go all the way.
Yeah.
Go Waylon Jennings.
He did a song with Willie Nelson, and I wanted to like it. Two of my favorite singers. Are you kidding me?
He's a great singer.
Stained that album. Black Gives Way to Blue. That's Alice in Chains. I forget the name.
Their first album you're talking?
Yeah, they Break the Cycle.
Yeah.
Stained Break the Cycle is like one of my first albums ever. And
is that the one with It's Been a While on it and stuff? Yeah, those are good. Again,
That's a Stain song.
You ever see the video?
That's Stain.
It's been a while.
Since
That's a fucking
it's a great
classic
song. But
banger.
the
That was huge.
other, what's that other song that's on there that he like wrote in front of an audience, and then fucking the guy from
Outside and Lincoln, not Lincoln
Limp
Park.
Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Fred Durst sings
was
unison
up there.
with him.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Shut
That
up,
video
Fred."
makes no sense.
Yeah.
At least sing an octave.
But what was the song? What was that song? I'm trying.
Outside.
Outside.
I'm on the outside.
Yeah, but yeah, he's like, Fred Durst is up there just like helping him out, but it's like, dude, shut up. He's writing a song right now. Like, you're not helping. It's like,
I didn't know that.
No, that was the first time he had written it.
But that was like
it was
it was
never
new
recorded.
material.
Yeah, it was never recorded.
That's why that's the
that's why
main-
it's not really that deep of a song. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, but it has, I mean, it's got a thing
hook's
to
good.
it. Yeah, it's a great hook, but he had that down, but that was like, he just played that in front of an audience, and then,
God, he had
yeah.
Aaron Lewis had a freaking eyebrow piercing, and
Yeah,
now
he really changed his image.
and now, dude.
Hey, people change.
Yeah, that's true.
People
do
change. I
change.
mean, he was a kid.
still sings good.
Yeah, he's a great singer.
He probably
Love
plays
his voice.
guitar well. I don't know anything about his playing, but I'm sure he's good.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that he knows all the songs. He probably did cover stuff growing up.
I remember hearing an interview with him that I think he talked about that. He talked about like playing, I think it's been a while, because he used to do cover and he was throwing his original and no one gave a shit.
Really?
Yeah, he's just like, no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
It's like they don't care.
You have to be. It has to be something. A
Yeah.
good song is social currency.
Yeah.
Like you write that good song, that you're worth something.
Mm-hmm. But it's just interesting to be like, this huge song was being played and no one cared, and then it just all of a sudden they do. Well, because it's on MTV.
Dude, take me through your songwriting process. What's some good songs you've been writing lately, or some songs you like? Or
we've been we got one song.
You want to tell the history about because Bad Honey was a thing before I got here.
Yeah, let's start from the top, dude. We got time.
Yeah, so I mean, I think so. Bad Honey started with me and my buddy Chris back in after college. We started the band. We were first doing cover stuff, and then we started doing original stuff. We moved to Seattle in 2016.
Is he from Connecticut too?
Yeah, he's from Connecticut. We both went to college
Stars
together.
Hollow?
What's that?
Stars Hollow?
From Stars Hollow. No, not from Stars. He's from Clinton, Connecticut. And I'm from Old Saybrook, Connecticut. But yeah, we moved out to Seattle and started writing songs, and we did it we wanted to do a demo, and then we put together this 4-song that we wrote back in, was it 2018? Those are our first songs we ever wrote on our original album Bad Honey, and recorded at London Bridge. It kind of turned into a bigger thing. I had a friend who was really encouraging, and her boyfriend was a big he was an engineer, music engineer.
Sweet.
He did front of house for the Heavy. And it was very connected in the music, and she was really encouraging of hey, and he helped us out and recorded it.
Sweet.
Which was really awesome, because we were just we just wanted to do no, not Jonathan. This is Tim. His name is Tim. My friend Shanine, shout out, thank you. If you're watching. Yeah, so we wanted to just do a demo, because we're just hey, we want to play shows, we need to record something. These are songs that we wrote. So we had 4 songs. We went to the studio, and she's just let's just record it. I was okay. And he did it for free, which was awesome, and did some mixing for it.
London Bridge for free?
Yeah. Well, no, we paid for London Bridge, but he did his engineering and recording for free. So we put a little money into it. It was totally worth it. And I think looking back, I'm glad we did, because it sounds good, and it
How much is it to
do a studio?
Well, if it without the engineering, how much more would it be with the engineering? With the mixing,
it depends.
and stuff?
I mean, usually pay hourly, so at least,
because that shit takes
50.
hours.
Yeah, we were there 8 hours.
Yeah, but even the stuff he did for free, if he charged for that, that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he could have easily charged $100 an hour.
Because I thought about doing engineer stuff, but I can't. I'm good at sitting and doing one thing for a long time, but I can't hack it, dude. I've seen those guys, and I'm nope.
Yeah, it's you just sit, you
I
sit
like
there.
to get up and walk dogs or something. Let's
if you don't want to move around, it's not a
baby.
moving job for sure.
Yeah, but I love doing it for my own music.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. I've tried to
know.
record my own stuff, and it's really challenging. It's an art itself,
It absolutely, yeah.
So we recorded, and it went really well, and we started playing around town. Got a little traction playing around town, and then we did more recording. We had an original bass player that I can go through the whole history, but we were together for 5 5 years before, or even longer, I guess 6.
You're looking at me like I know.
No,
the
I'm
answer.
just thinking when we started talking. Well, we started talking last year.
You and me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Last summer. Not this.
No.
Not the summer before, when you first reached out.
No, I hit you up in.
That was 2022.
Maybe May, March
Yeah,
or May.
2022.
Spring 2022.
So anyway, so yeah, it was like 6 years of playing, and my drummer Chris, who I wrote all the songs with, he moved to God, where is it? Why can't I think? St. Louis,
Kansas City.
Sorry, Kansas City.
Damn.
Yeah, that's right. Kansas City. So it was just kind of like, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know,
that was the original drummer.
Yeah,
that was your guy.
who I mean, it was basically my my band partner.
That was your Lars Ulrich, and he's up
he
and
moved,
left.
and it was really tough, and like I was supportive of him, and he wanted to go, and that was his choice, and it totally ended great, and we're just like, I just didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't and we wrote all the songs together, and then we had another album come out, or EP I should say, and that one we got really great traction on. We got on a few Spotify playlists.
How many songs on that?
There was, I think, was it 6? I think,
including new songs, or
God, I need to look at my reference.
Sure, yeah. And then after
it's
this,
hard to remember your own shit.
I'll have you guys send me all the links, and I can post them. Everything.
Here, let's see, where are we here? But yeah, we did an EP, and I think I had 6, and I'm really proud of this one.
Is that Truth Social I see on your phone?
What is that? Is that
It's
like
Trump's
Yeah, I
thing.
just, by the way you said it, I'm like, that's got to be
No, I
Trump's thing.
Don't have that. So yeah,
Truth
that
Social.
EP, Help Yourself. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 6 songs. Yeah, so I was right. So we did 6 songs on that. Recorded that at London Bridge too. Then the owner, Jonathan Plum, hooked us up with doing the recording for that. And he mixed it, and it went really well, and was super proud of that. I felt like we elevated in our songwriting.
That's so sick, dude.
And then kind of refining our sound, and then then we started playing more, and then that's when we got JoJo. We lost our bass player, and JoJo I met. I do film production. I met him on a shoot that his wife was working at, and we were just met, and we were like, hey, I need a bass player. He's like, I play bass, and he's a super nice guy. I wish he was here. But yeah, we just connected, and we started playing some shows, and then 2020 happened, of course, and that was put a damper on things, and then it just kind of started going down,
Ugh.
and then Chris left, and I just was like, fuck, I think Bad Honey's done. I just don't know how to continue.
What happened to your first bass player?
Mike, we unfortunately had creative differences. So we've had JoJo's the third bass player.
Oh, okay.
So we've had
All right.
3. But the first one we had and he helped write some of the songs, but he was just wanted to play like prog rock.
Okay. So he
which
could
is like,
play.
hey man, cool. Like I always felt like I had to rein him back.
Yeah.
He wanted to play like super melodic bass stuff, and like
Right.
that's cool. But what we were trying to do is like, it just doesn't fit, man. Like
Steven would have hated that. Dude.
yeah, Steven would have hated
If
it.
he was here right now,
Yeah,
he
Steven
would
was
agree with
supporting
you.
I would have loved to have heard Steven's
but
hot take on
and,
that.
I know, I hope Mike's doing well. I haven't seen him in a while, but we just wasn't on the same
Totally.
page with what we're like.
Totally.
Dude, we just need to lock down a groove. Like that's what we're trying to do here. So it didn't, and he always like equated something complicated as good.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I've gone through a few bass players
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
that's not what we're trying to do. And really, like, we weren't that. I mean, I'm still not a great musician. Like, I'm like, I'll play within my ability and
Sure.
like just know like, hey, what we can do. And I think simple is good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
especially like giving space for. If you want to do something cool, like we'll give you space, but you can't have 5 different cool things happening.
Yeah, then it's not cool
it doesn't-
anymore.
Yeah, it's not cool anymore. It's
I go
confusing.
through night as like a lead guitar player doing gigs where I'm just soloing out my ass all night. I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
Contrary to popular belief, we get tired of it, people.
Yeah, and people, and it's like this is a
I
great,
looked right at the
this is a
camera for
great
that.
segment. This is so good. I hate taking solos. My lead guy just gives the solos. Taylor, here go another one.
Yeah.
I gotta stand at the
Like,
front of the
all right.
stage again and play the same 4 licks. I gotta play. No, I love taking solos, but it's
Yeah.
nice when you have a song that's not just
Yeah.
like sing a little bit and then take a 10-minute solo
Yeah,
and then wrap it up.
I think with smaller bands that are like when you're songwriting, I think one of the biggest problems I see is trying to like impress people with the music instead of like it being something you connect with as like just a well-written
That's
song.
kind of like what I was saying with singing the notes in tune. Nobody really gives
no one really cares. Like, I mean,
I care the most.
Yeah, I mean, people do. I mean, they care and they can acknowledge someone that's a great singer or like a great guitar player, but it's not like the average person is not going to connect with someone that can be like, well, that was like such a hard thing that you just played.
Right,
like as a musician or like
I had some musicians in the crowd.
To them, it all sounds hard. To people that don't do it,
yeah.
Like think.
Yeah, if they don't play music,
that's a great way to think about it. It's like if you play an E chord and sing a couple notes, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, think
they can't do it.
Back to your think. I mean, you're and my guy too. Because I remember when I was on this podcast before, I mentioned BB King is my all-time favorite guitar player. BB King stuff is not. Once you really get into it, it is not hard.
You're right.
It's not, like
you can do
it's theoretically it's not
technically hard.
It's not technically hard.
It's not technical playing. Yeah.
But if you, I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about the feel.
Yeah, I guess like to an audience member, someone just listening to music is going to go, what Kirk Hammett is doing, as we discussed, and BB King, like to them, it's going to sound equally hard.
Yeah.
Whereas like Kirk Hammett could probably play all those BB King licks, but he's not going to sound like BB King, and that's the point. I guess that's the thing. It's like just the average person listening, it all is going to sound hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I watch a high school football player play football, that looks hard. If I watch an NFL player play football, that looks hard.
And we're gushing like,
I
you
don't
see that spin move, and he fucking broke
I don't
those
play
guys,
football.
Yeah. It's a great way to look at it.
It's not about the complicate, and I think people try to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, because it's my 20th solo, and I'm like, how am I going to impress them now? I've done all the things I can. Play faster.
Yeah, and it's just, I think it also just recognizing we can only, as a human, really like latch on to a couple things going on at once. So like if you have, like I said, 5 different cool things, and that's what I feel like sometimes when I'm watching other bands that I'm not into, I'm like, there's just everyone's doing their own thing, right? To be like, well, I just want to do my cool thing, and then I'll do my cool thing. And it's like, isn't this cool? Mm-hmm. It's like, no, because none of it makes sense.
What's really funny about all that is we all grow up loving Black Sabbath, right? And Smoke on the Water, all these simple things, but we lose it at a certain point.
Well, I think it's just music because you want to challenge yourself. You want to be better.
I'm a very
it makes sense.
I wasn't an athlete necessarily, but my 2 brothers were, and like I grew up competitive. Totally. Boy family, all that stuff. Yeah. So like I play music that seeps in, instead of just have it be fun. It's like, no, I want to be the best.
Right. Well, there's a difference between being a top technical musician or just a musician in general and being a songwriter. Yeah. Those are 2 different skills.
Yeah, in my head, being the best is being the best at fucking both of those.
Yeah,
things.
right.
It's like Chris Cornell. He could sing, he could play, and he could write songs.
Right, yeah. And those are, I mean, that's the sweet spot, right?
Yeah. But no, I totally...
Yeah, and I think that's what, Bad Honey is, that it's just keeping things simple and like, and it's very guitar riff driven.
Love it.
Which is how every single one of those songs was written by. Started with a riff, and like I've always, and Chris was this way too. We always tried to like, what makes sense and like allow it to like unfold. Like we always wrote lyrics at the end because it was just like I could never just write a poem or a lyric and be like, all right, now I'm gonna find the thing that makes sense that fits this. It's like the feeling of what the song's about is off of the feeling of the music.
That makes sense.
And that's how we always wrote it. And like the words were always last and like and hard and hard at the same time. Yeah. But so we I'm really proud of the songs that we wrote, and like we're new. Like I mean, we hadn't written a lot of songs. Like Devil's Tongue was the first song that we ever wrote. I mean, it's really simple, blues kind of shuffle, but and something else we leaned to, I leaned into a lot was just the tone, and like, and that's where I get a lot of my Black Keys influences. Playing older guitar. I've play Silvertone,
beautiful Silvertone,
a 65 Silvertone Jupiter. I play in live shows.
What do you play it through?
Just a Fender reverb. I like to keep it clean and I get all the. I would love to get a Marshall at some point.
I have a DeVille.
Oh yeah, those are great. I get most of the tone from the.
It looks weird on camera. Check it out.
It's just
see the green lines going through it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the mesh or if it's.
It's just the color.
Actually, I don't know if it. goes through. I think that's just monitoring. I think either way, I like this better.
No, it's nice to get the branding.
Yeah,
but
I got enough amps going on.
And
We're good.
yeah, so we just like focus on like that tone, the big fuzzy riffs.
Love the fuzzy.
Yeah, and like it was super awesome playing with Chris, and it was a bummer to have him leave, and I thought it was over, and it was so serendipitous because like at that time as he was on his way out.
Why was he leaving? Job?
I think he left because his girlfriend wanted to move to why can't I think of the name of the place?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I can't think of it. I keep thinking St. Louis. I have a really good friend from St. Louis.
Well, they're both in Missouri.
I know they're both Missouri.
It's
Kansas
close.
City. Thank you. Because she wanted to move there, so I think he just kind of felt like that's where he had to kind of go to, and he never really established roots here as much as I had. So I think it was easy for him to leave, and the band was a big thing that like I think it was really tough for him to walk away from. And we ended up like and then we kind of left it like we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe we can try to write stuff and do stuff together. But
Was that before or after COVID?
That was after COVID.
That was after.
Yeah.
And you still talk to Chris?
Yeah. Chris is a good friend of mine. I love Chris. Like known him for a long, and we're gonna stay friends forever.
Great.
So we ended on a really great terms. But to get into kind of how this started was, Vaughn had reached out. Just kind of, we had played a show with Bad with Birds.
Mm-hmm.
At, where was that place? Factory Lux. And we connected a little bit at the show. And he reached out probably a few months later, I guess, from that.
Yeah. So where I kind of fit in.
This is when you come in.
Where I guess where I kind of fit in is.
We got the first 5 seasons, and now season 6.
Yeah,
this
season
is 6.
This is where the real good season.
So
dude.
to go back to like, you guys have touched on so many things that I think that I've felt as a musician and as a guitar player and whatnot, and goes back.
Yeah, we got 3 guitar players in here today.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
No drummers or anything
Drums,
gross.
no bass
Yeah.
players,
God forbid
dude.
a bass. That's why I can only fit 2 people.
Yeah.
Bass players. Like they
So
can't.
I just don't want a band in here. I just want the guitar guys to come talk about their gear.
But one of the things that you had, when you were talking with Wes about what ended Bad with Birds is, yes, there was creative differences in the fact that Bad with Birds, I think at some point started to feel like everyone was playing for themselves, and not because there was any super inflated egos, in my opinion, but just like no one was really playing complementary music,
Sure.
and no one was really playing complementary parts, and
Like no one was serving the song.
no one was serving the song, and it was a band I fell backwards into. Pat was in a band with me beforehand, and then when he left, I just eventually it was time for me to go, and so I hooked up with Pat, and and then it was Bad with Birds for I don't know, year and a half, 2 years. I don't.
You guys
know.
were a COVID.
We were a COVID
right?
COVID baby,
And you guys did an album
COVID.
during COVID, if I remember.
Yeah, we recorded it at.
I remember thinking that would be wild.
What's the other big one? Robert Lang.
Yeah,
Robert Lang. Like Martin Luther King Jr. weekend of 2021.
Yeah.
I think because we were all still wearing masks when we weren't playing. But the point being is, we played with them, and I'd felt in my bones like I was like, okay, I've got the cover band, it's fun, but like the original stuff I was playing wasn't really serving my true tastes.
Yeah.
And my true interests. And I've always been a person that I like simple.
Yeah.
I believe in simple because it makes when things are simple, it makes the complicated seem that much more important.
For sure.
That much more interesting, and that much more, I don't know, not normal, but like that much it has it's more impactful.
There you go. Yeah.
So, we played with them, and like I said, we vibed with them, and then I took, I was sitting there at one of the cover band shows, and I'm like, I don't want to like just start something completely over from scratch. And I had no idea that their band was Bad Honey was ending. When I hit him up, I had no intention of weaseling my way into Bad Honey. I did not want to do that. I thought he was talented, and I thought they were great. So I was like, okay. And I listened to all their music in the car, both the first EP, the Bad Honey EP, and Help Yourself.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay.
So it's 10 songs total?
Yeah,
10 or 11.
Is that all you have currently live that people can check out?
In terms of recording,
Like on Spotify or what have you.
that's what we have. But we
Cool.
have
Put
some
a
more
link.
stuff
I'll put a link.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do.
We're doing new stuff now. We can get to that. But the point being, I hit you up, and just because I felt, and in my bones, like I needed something more, and my roots are blues music. I needed something simpler. I needed something more grooving. I needed something just with more feel and more akin to how I like to play the guitar. And so we met at Telerico's in West Seattle, and I thought we connected right away, having a conversation about music and about, just connected on a lot of levels. And originally the point was to start a side project. And we actually started writing music for said side project. And then one day I came over and, you told me that Bad Honey was done. And this was like one of the first meetings, like, yeah, it's over. And you're like, so what would you feel about just kind of kickstarting it up again? And he's like, the music's already there. More or less the brand is already there.
The brand is a big thing.
The brand's already there because this was a band that was established. And then, it just, when Chris left, it just kind of left.
Yeah, I mean, he had been gone for a little bit, but yeah, from my point of view, I was like, I'll just start a new project. Like I felt uncomfortable, because it was such a thing with Chris that like, I was like, oh, it's like our thing. And also like, I don't know if anyone would be interested in just like joining in after with all this history and stuff like that. But when I thought about it, I was just like, I don't want to fucking make a new Instagram.
No,
and
absolutely.
That's what I was thinking
people, and like, I don't want to start a whole new thing.
I almost want a new band name, but it's like, well, I can't. I've already got.
The band name is the hardest part of this.
The Google Drive is already there.
The Google Drive is already there. But the point of it too is like, I was open to doing something new and like progressing from what Bad Honey was doing.
Right.
But I was like, but we already have that foundation, and we had a little bit of traction, like, and our Spotify looks good for a little.
JoJo, like
we had JoJo, and I wanted to continue working with JoJo. But yeah, it was just kind of like, hey, I think this is the right move for us.
You met JoJo where again? I remember you telling the story.
So I do video production for my
you met him outside of music.
So I was doing this project with Casa Latina. They're this nonprofit, and we were recording like a live band. And his wife Jess, I believe, was working there at the time, and basically he came to check out the band because he's a music guy, and it was like right around the time we had lost our second bass player, and the producer was like, "Oh, Matthew's in a band."
That's what I was gonna say. It's like, how do you?
Matthew's in a band.
In real life, you don't meet a lot of
It's like that moment when your mom's like, "Hey, you should go talk to Joe."
It was such a mom moment, and I thank Jonna for that because that totally injured. Because I don't say shit like that. So
I get nervous.
Yeah, and then JoJo's wife was like, "Oh, well, my husband plays music and he's coming. Like, oh, you should meet each other." And I was like, "Oh, great." And we chat, and JoJo's like the nicest guy. So it's like
when someone tells you guys that, pretty right on.
Yeah, so we just connected.
I said no JoJo. As you can see, there's not too much room. We probably could have made it work, but again, if Steven was here, then it would be 5. And then
no worries. It's
and then
fine.
Wes is left out, and then we got 8 people.
Yeah.
Okay. When people say my so and so plays music too, what's your first thought?
Like if some
cool,
if some guy or woman says my son plays music. Or something.
Yeah. You should meet. When they say you should meet, then I start feeling something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any expectations.
I immediately, and I'm a shittier person probably, but I immediately am like, no, I don't want to.
No, because like, well, playing music it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not it's not personal, but maybe it's personal.
Yeah.
The people I play with, I want to see him probably play first. So I don't know. It's my initial reaction, which is
that's
why
what I'm saying.
I
It's like, okay, well, if you haven't, and I'm not knocking anyone that but like if you have an acoustic guitar and that's just you kind of like to play in your basement, you play music.
Yeah. I always assume it's that guy.
But there's a difference. Like
it's like dating somebody. Yeah. That's what it is. It's exactly like dating somebody.
That,
So when you have that opportunity, you're like, hey, you got to meet my friend.
Well, yeah. Some people will say like, hey, I have a daughter.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so she's a woman, so that's all I need.
That's all I need.
So you just meet them and you get a vibe like, okay, is this person cool? Right. And then I met Joe. He's very cool, very nice.
Genre of music?
We talked a little music. I was like, hey, like you want to come jam? And that's like going out on a date. You want to go like get a drink.
You landed it, dude.
Yeah, so then you go and you try it out, and you're like, did it feel good? And then if it feels good, you do it again.
And now you guys sleep together on a regular basis.
And we finally slept together when we had our first show. Wow. I was like, hey, would you like to play the show with us? That is the progress. And then you eventually go, hey, let's make this official.
Yeah.
You're in the band.
Yeah.
It's like dating. And you treat it that way because you cannot rush into it.
Shout out to Slim Wizzy. I'm officially part of the band Slim Wizzy.
Oh.
They just sent me
Just
the text.
official. Oh.
Officially, would you like to
Wait,
join the band?
No more junk science?
It's just been back burner.
Sure.
It's been bad honeyed. It's been
bad.
It's been band hunting. We got to revamp it like
Sure.
you guys.
Yeah.
We will. We just need a drummer and a bass player and a whole bunch of motivation and time.
Yeah, that's
But
tough.
I even said, I was like, Steven, this next time we come over, let's not even do a pod. Let's just do some reaction videos since those get views and it's easier, it's shorter, and it's more fun, it's more music related. And then let's spend our hour writing songs, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
And he was like, I'd love to, but I can't make it this week. So I was like, fuck. Yeah. But junk science is on the brain.
There
So
you go.
Nice.
yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yep. Hey, yeah. Slim Wizzy,
Yeah.
classic rock cover
official.
band.
Slim Wizzy?
Tom Petty to ZZ Top.
Ooh, that's fun.
Ooh, I
All
like
the
it.
classics,
I like
baby.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
John Mayer, or is that Higher Soul? I'm in Higher Soul as well. That's a funk band.
That's cool.
It's like we do covers as well, but mostly original
Nice.
minor, C minor
Nice.
jams at 1, flat 7, flat 6, 5. He writes all the songs the same chords, but they don't sound the same. It's weird. I was looking at the bass player one day. I'm like, hey, are all these songs the same? We've played like 8 shows.
Higher Soul,
Yeah.
Slim Wizzy.
Those are my 2 bands I'm in.
Nice.
Yep.
Slim Wizzy, there you go.
Nice.
Yep. All right. Well, that's the. You guys want to pitch all your stuff? Do some plugs for us to wrap this thing up.
Yeah,
Sure.
Whether it's
what
side
do we got
projects or
going
all
on?
Bad Honey. Or
I mean, I think it's. I mean, you got Fat Saturn. I
Yeah.
just have Bad Honey.
Fat
Nice.
Saturn's Fat Saturn.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a fun cover band. We have Fat Saturn has a big show on 10/28 for the Halloween at
this should be out by then.
where?
This is coming out next
at
Friday.
Showboat in
You're playing
Seattle.
Showboat?
Yes.
Is that where the Halloween show is?
Yes. Costumes.
Tight.
All that
Tight.
stuff. It's our singer's last show before he has his first child.
Yeah.
And then
becomes a completely different person.
Yes. And then Bad Honey's
And stop
got
showing up to no.
We're playing in
10/26 in Everett,
Yep.
Tony V's.
Tony
and
V's
then
on the 26th.
Tight.
11/18 at Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. Yeah.
And we just had a really fun show at Lambakai, a house show at UW.
Yeah, we played a frat.
Lambakai, you guys were great.
Yeah, thank
Played
you.
a frat.
Awesome. Kinda love playing a frat.
I'd never
huh?
been in a
Fun,
frat
yeah.
before.
Ooh, you guys drinking while you're singing?
No.
Yeah,
I'm
smart.
not drinking right now. I'm
Smart. You'll
because
sing better.
I'm right behind this guy. We're trying to have a baby too. We're all doing that. So I'm doing a cleanse.
Yep. Well, that
Yeah.
works out because I'm also like I'm not drinking, but I am consciously like saying no more
Good.
than because I never would be able to say no before. Like even right
That's a
now,
big step.
if there was beer in that fridge, I might even right now just be like, we should have a beer. You know what I mean? Because
Sure,
it's an
sure.
event, right?
Yeah,
We're doing
yeah,
a
of
thing,
course.
which is totally fine. But I'm consciously like ditching that every other time or so, just because
Nice.
I don't want it to be.
See, I'm trying to do the
Right.
same. I'm doing the same thing. Where it's like if you had offered a beer tonight, I would have said no. Do you have an iced tea?
There you
Because
go.
I'm trying. You know,
Smart. It's hard.
it is hard.
It is hard.
It is.
Would you like a beer? Though?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, good. I don't have one, so
Good. There you go.
I was
Yeah, he
testing you
passed.
anyway.
You have an-
Yeah,
you have an-
yeah,
Do you have an iced? Do you have an iced tea?
I don't. I wish. I usually next time, dude. Next time I'll be loaded up.
You'll get
But,
iced. Nice.
yeah, so Bad Honey, and then we are releasing new music. We're gonna record
Yeah.
a new song called Hellbound.
Yeah, we got
Tight.
new music coming out, which
Just
we're
to-
stoked. That's what we wrote together, which
Yeah.
I'm stoked to.
Just,
Tight.
full circle it. That was kind of the first tune that is the new Bad Honey, and to the point of
Hellbound.
like, this musical relationship between me and him, and the rest of the whole band, like everyone was added to Bad Honey. Me and Wes, I feel, has brought new life into the
Yeah.
music.
For sure.
And has made it, I don't know, like just, I don't want to say more interesting because it was great music before, but like it's a different element. So there's new levels going on.
I feel like it's like I had a friend come to our show at Connor Byrne, and he hadn't seen us in a couple years, so he kind of had old Bad Honey, and he saw new Bad Honey, and he's like, this is next. Like he's like, this
tight.
and he was
That's
a fan
good.
before.
That's good to
and
hear.
he was happy. Like he was never was like, oh yeah, you'll get there. But he
He's
was
like,
like
finally
super-
got rid of Chris and
no, that's not
Mike.
I think what it is it's one. Von's an amazing guitar player.
Yeah, that'll add you to any band.
And it's tough when you're a 3-piece and you don't. And I'm not just. And he'll say this isn't true, but I'm not that great of a guitar player.
Sure.
Not true.
So it's tough to, especially in a 3-piece. Like you really have a lot to carry, and
Yeah.
he's a great lead player, and I think me pulling back into rhythm. And then Wes is a fucking great drummer.
Dude, yeah.
He's a great drummer. And then Joe, I mean, they're all just so good.
You
Like,
guys
they're all
watch
just
that
great
episode I
musicians.
did with Wes? I put as many of the clips as I could in there of him drumming.
Yeah, he's
I was like,
he just
he's
fucking
like, he's
rips.
doing the
I
fill
love playing
perfectly.
with
I was
him.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because
the
it
triplets.
was tough to not play with Chris anymore because that's who I learned playing with, really. And,
Right.
and they're different and but similar in some ways. But Wes just like he fucking hits the drum so hard and he just got a great groove and it's just so fun to play. And JoJo is just like such a great musician too, and just like he's brilliant with that. Like that's the type of bass player you want. And
So
then he
the
just
new
locks and grooves.
The new
and-
song is only available at a live show currently?
Currently,
Yeah,
yeah. But we're gonna start. We have to finish the bridge.
All right. Well, depending on when people are watching this
Yeah,
episode,
it could be out.
maybe there'll be a link. But either way, check out Bad Honey. Look for Hellbound, and if not, check out all their other songs
Yeah,
as
check
well.
out our stuff that's out now. It's good.
We got Matthew. We got Vaughn. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah,
Shout
thank
outs
you.
to Wes and JoJo as
Yeah.
well. We'll meet someday, JoJo. Slap at a bass. Good work.
We'll fit him in here.
Nice
I
job.
think we can fit him.
He gets stanky. He's good.
He gets stank. He gets so stanky.
He's stanky.
He does some stank bass face.
When I saw Buddy Guy, he said, "I want you guys to get so quiet." What did he say? No, I'm gonna get so stanky you can smell it. Is what he said.
Did you see him on this tour?
No, this was. He's still. How can he still be playing?
Well, he just had to take a major medical break.
Yeah, he's in his 80s, right?
Yeah, it's time to be done.
I'm 74 years young. I saw that tour. Well, he said it was like 2 years later, 76 years young. But the song, what album is that? Anyway, Buddy Guy, super awesome. Check out Buddy Guy. Check out John Mayer's Continuum. Check out El Camino by the Black Keys. And don't forget to check out Bad Honey. See you next week.
Thank you.
Music.